Welcome, welcome, welcome. There you are. Grand and glorious day, everyone. Grand and glorious day today, to you today on this amazing day. I'm wishing you well from here as we continue upgrading our frequency, our vibration, as we come to an awakening, a conscious expansion, and gratefully usher in this amazing time, right? We're going from interesting times to amazing times. So let's see if this improves anything at all. It's a beautiful windy day today, and Hun is off to elk camp, so we're very grateful if we are blessed to fill the freezer with wapiti and elk. That would be a beautiful thing. And I just wanted to share some information with you today as it's kind of coming to me about, what do we want to talk about today as we continue our awakening? You know, it's an interesting process. It's an unfoldment. It's a belief in, it's a connection of, it's a communing with um, forces and sources that are beyond our level of understanding on this physical plane, and the importance of our daily practice, the importance of cultivating our own peace of mind and expansiveness, the importance of maintaining trust and faith in ourself and also in our fellow human beings. Now that sounds a little suspicious, doesn't it? Um, it's tough when we get so bogged down, and I am guilty of this in my own reality, when we hear so many negative things, and that's why it's so important to take a fast from what they're force feeding us and do our own research. And this week, many things are happening, many exciting things. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the QAnon posts that were happening on 4chan. And there's been much speculation about it. And really, all of this is just speculation. There's many interesting thoughts on that. I like the Daily Rabbit Hole. His information is really good. And it's thought provoking, though, because during this time of unfoldment, during this time of disclosure, during this time of the awakening, the renaissance, there is always much upheaval. And sometimes we get so caught up in that and the negativity that we forget that our ultimate responsibility is to create peace of mind here so that we can manifest peace on earth, right? But what good is peace on earth if we're not free, if we don't have liberty? And the importance, as a good citizen of the United States, to pray for the republic. Personalities aside, politics is bullshit, we know that. But we must pray for the enlightenment that inspired the concept of the experiment of the Republic of the United States. And that's really what it is. It's an experiment. It continues to be an experiment. And as with all experiments, the the outcome is always based upon the intention set at the beginning. It's really true. You can look into some of the work that they did on hydrogen, and they found that the experiments always, the outcome was always related to what everybody in the room was thinking. That's why when true science is being done, not science that is bought and paid for, and we know how much the majority of science is bought and paid for, um, they must set the, for lack of a better term, they set the agenda, and they must not differ from the agenda unless, of course, they are corrupting the data. and then they can change it to whatever sway they want it to be. So this experiment that we're living in, that was originally the original doctrine of the let's see what I have here of the Constitution, that one piece of paper that freed millions, unlike the 20,000 pages of legislation that really enslaves us more and more, as the corrupted system um, that we're living in right now uh, continues to enslave not just us in a physicality, but in a spiritual sense. It's really what it's after. It's this technology, which is a blessing in many instances, that I can talk to you from my very busy, messy kitchen today and share with you this information. But it's really robbing, especially not so much my generation, because we remember what it was like, and we can still create a tech-free moment, shut off the Wi-Fi, go within, practice our peace of mind, practice our freedom of mind, our imagination process, our illumination process. But this enslavement that technology causes is robbing us of our consciousness, and it's also robbing us of our communion to source, to the inspiration that freed millions, freed millions. We're not talking about bondage or slavery in that sense. We're talking about a theoretical, and a theoretical process that keeps us enslaved. We're slaves to consumerism. We're slaves to technology. We're slaves to negative thoughts, drugs, doctoring. We're slaves to chocolate. Hello, marijuana, sex, drugs, rock and roll. All of those things that we would call the addictive patterns that rob us of our freedom, of our liberty. And the reason why I work with people who are free from pharmaceuticals, who are free from drugs, and I'm seeking clarity and sobriety today, and I hope that you are too, in a beautiful way, is because we are not fully awake. We're not fully aware. We're not cognizant. We're not free. We're not at liberty to express ourselves. And there's much suppression going on right now. There's much suppression of this information, this vital, vital information that says that you design your future based upon what you think, based upon what you believe, based upon how you project your energy upon the planet, and how you commune with a force that is greater than thou, and how we react versus response. So are we just in reaction mode? If we're just reacting, then we are not in our most grounded, centered, conscious self. When we measure and weigh things and then respond, that is when we are truly, truly in our freedom, in our potential to expand. Let's take a breath here. Let's get grounded. Let's come into our body and engage that powerful pelvic point. Full body awareness. Let's surrender, release, and let go of all that no longer serves us right now, so that we can open up to a greater realm of understanding for ourselves. I know that it's a challenge for you to possibly understand this. I mean, I've been studying alternative modalities for more than 30 years. I know that when I was a child, I had an understanding that was way beyond my chronological age, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I also know that a lot of that was robbed from me because of my, probably started with, even though we did not do much doctoring, I'm pretty sure I was vaccinated as a kid. used to have mysterious high fevers, and angry rages, and we had minimal amount of vaccinations then. And then, of course, I marched right on to 20-25 years of using alcohol, and drugs as a mode of navigating my uncomfortableness. But somewhere along the way, I always communed with Source. I always prayed. I always believed in my potential. I still mostly believe in my potential. And when I am off kilter on an energetic level, I don't go for a prescription drug. I don't go for a drink or a drug. I go within. The inner splendor, which helps me to expand my outer radiance. Now, it's tough for you to understand this, and this is not meant for that. This is not meant for anything other than to allow this information, this energetic potential possibility, to just imagine for yourself. If you were totally free, what would that look like, feel like, smell like, taste like? How would you know it was real? Now, we cannot be free if we're sick. If we can't be free if we're in pain, that's kind of where this is leading to. If we're in physical pain, if we're in emotional pain, if we're in spiritual pain, we cannot be free. We're not free. We're slaves. We're enslaved. If we're bitching, twitching, switching, we're not free. And what I mean by bitching is if we're griping and complaining, if we're twitching because we're so stressed and nervous that we're not sleeping, resting, restoring, if we're switching from one distraction to the next distraction to the next distraction, blah, we are not free. We're not free. Now, here in the United States, we're so blessed. We're blessed with the divine inspiration that led to this experiment, right? This experimentation, which we as awake, aware, cognizant, good citizens must ramp up our frequency so that we're not draining and complaining. Because what are we doing? If we're draining and complaining, we're contaminating the whole collective. All right. So if I am sick in body, if I am sick in mind, if I am sick in spirit, I am draining. All right. I'm contaminating the collective conscious, this fragile frequency, this vibration of which we're all enmeshed in, that is causing mass upheaval in those who are not divinely guided, directed, protected, effective in all that they're choosing to do. We become useful idiots, and useful idiots are part of the problem, okay? We're just totally contaminated, and complaint is one of the lowest, most toxic frequencies and vibrations that is out there. Stop complaining. So if we're in physical, emotional, spiritual pain, we cannot ascend. We cannot awaken. We cannot contribute to the collective in a beautiful way. What is contributing to collective? That's where I stand in my truth and my power for this moment in time, and I'm loving this experience and this experiment that is this lifetime. I'm loving this physical bits and pieces of my body just as it is, just as it is. And if my body is sick and sad, then I have to love it to health. This is a belief system. Health begins between our ears. Health is maintained between our ears first. I know that's really hard for some to understand, and that's why we must today develop a practice today when we're feeling phenomenal. I told you I was going through this new alchemization, this new expansion, and boy, it sucked, the birthing process. It really sucked. And you feel low and you feel you forget how powerful you were yesterday when you feel like shit today, right? And so for those of you who are chronically ill, oh my God, I'm just praying for you. I'm communing for your benefit. I want you to believe in your potential to begin to shift into a higher vibration, a frequency. If we're vibrating below the level of 200 on the scale of consciousness, then we are defunct, deficient, and unable to ascend that scale of consciousness to enlightenment. Okay, that's spiritual terms. So what does that mean in lay terms? Well, that would mean to be crawling on our belly like a reptile until we lift up and we say, aha, right? The sound of God, aha, I am here. What is my purpose? What is my potential? What is of value? How can I expand into my true purpose and potential so that I can have prosperity of great health, great wealth, great, amazing experiences, and people to share this experience that is this very temporary, this brief parentheses in all of eternity. So you think, our lifetime in all of eternity is about like this, and this is all of eternity. And we are only here to affect shift in a beneficial way. And we can only do that when we are fully cognizant, conscious, awake, aware of our pure potential. Wow. So will you receive this gift of this moment in time, this brief parenthesis in all of eternity, that you and I are sharing and expanding a potential for goodness, kindness, compassion, truth, beauty, enlightenment, wisdom, fun, so that we can raise the vibration upon the planet, so that all may rise up and begin to do the same for themselves. No more blaming, no more shaming, no more griping, bitching, whining, kvetching. Because not only is that destroying you, it's destroying me, it's destroying this planet. And I will not allow it. And it is your obligation to not allow it in your home, your heart, your heart. We want a happy home and hearth, don't we? And as powerful women, we know that the healing is within. Inner radiance, inner splendor, outer radiance. So let's begin today to heal in our unique way, using the glory of our conscious, awake awareness. That means I know that I'm here right now. It means that I am so very grateful knowing that I am here right now. And if the only thing that I have is this breath in this body, then there is potential. And I'm willing to forgive myself, looking all the way back on my windy, twisty road of mishigosh and mistakes, to come to this moment in time where I am awake, aware. I see that from this moment in time, I have the potential for a beautiful expression moving forward, the expression of this lifetime. And I'm willing to think, feel, know for certain that I am on task, on target, that I am part of something that is much greater than I could understand here and now. But I have faith and I trust in something greater than myself that is